welcome to A Troubled Share. This is episode 18. For those that know, actually episode 19, but one of those episodes was banished for good into the ether, not our fault. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. My name is Johnny Cochrane. This is a podcast where two comedians try and heal the world by solving one of your troubles one at a time. I'm joined by the enigmatic comedian who looks at trouble and is untroubled by it. So I didn't have one ready. And at this point, you have to hold your hands up and say, just get out of there, Johnny. Get out of there. I was digging a hole. I didn't have one for you, Twayna. It's Twayna Mayne anyway. Twayna, how do you feel about that intro?
Hello, everybody. My name is Twayna Mayne, and I'm extremely disappointed in Johnny's intro for me this week. That was poor, Johnny. I'm going to give you, like, a 2 out of 10. It was enthusiastic, but it didn't go anywhere. It was rambling.
Didn't it?
It was just, yeah, you dug yourself a hole and then got stuck in it.
Yeah. And I hold my hands up.
Good.
And I'll tell everyone that I made a mistake, and I've made a rod for my own back because I'm trying to find constant spins on trouble. When you start getting into the 19th, 20th times of doing stuff, you are just rambling. And then we realise in life, aren't we all just rambling? So end with a philosophical quandary, and then people don't even know whether you're smart or not. You're just like, yeah, all right, yeah, cheers, okay. So we'll leave it at that. I think I got myself out of that jam. Twayna, troubled by anything? Otherwise,
No,
I've got...
You've got many a trouble. Tell us one.
So, Twayna, this is where we are now. Keep this to yourself. Obviously, you know I have sons. One of them is 6 years old, already in school. And my wife and I have really... Obviously, another thing that we've made quite clear on the pod, I've moved house. And so the school run is becoming longer and longer, despite the fact I'm rocking a Nissan Qashqai and looking pretty cool these days. But it's looking increasingly likely that we might have to move my son's school at some point. Just can't keep doing it forever. It won't be now, it won't be this year, but at some point in the future, he might have to move school, and he is not someone that loves change. So trying to deal with that, trying to tell your son, guess what, you're being overruled, you're being moved on. That could be a bit of a tricky one. What do you reckon about this trouble?
Sounds a bit... Why is he having to move? Is it just too far? Because you just don't want to take him there. You just want to take him somewhere close. Is this what this is? Is he flourishing? Is he doing well at that school?
We're late every day. We're late every day, Twayna. And
is that not a case of just getting up 15 minutes earlier and leaving earlier?
Don't come with your crazy solutions, Twayna. I'm not out here with your witchcraft, okay? I'm out here with practical stuff. It's just late every day, so that can't be changed, obviously. But no, there are other factors as well. Obviously, for the school he would end up going to at secondary school, he would end up we're going with kids that would go up with him into secondary school, as opposed to coming in from a school out of town, and then he'd have less of a support network when he made the more, some would say, arduous move up to secondary school, and all of the insecurities that might bring up. So there are other aspects to it, but yeah, I'm sick of being late every day as well. So do you reckon I'm going to be able to navigate this one?
Maybe leave him at home and just turn up to school yourself. Can you get yourself there on time without him? Because then maybe you can just go and do the lessons. Maybe you just have to role reverse and just say, look, you stay home, do what I do here, and I'll go in and do your lessons for you.
Yeah, the only thing is, if I keep turning up at a school without a child, I'm going to end up with police asking me questions and maybe having to spend some nights in a cell. So I'll probably stick out of that one and stick to only the school that my son goes to. We'll go for that. I feel cleansed. I feel like I've got a path forward to honour with that one. I think it's time that we start dealing with some
Not with my advice, though. You're like, you've discussed this with your wife, and you're like, I'll talk to Twayna about it, and you're like, yeah. Anyway, we'll get with what you said.
She's talking about leaving earlier. I mean, what's she on about? Right, let's jump into some troubles. Here we go. Oh, let's get that on. There we go. My boyfriend, 33. I presume that's his age, not his name, not some gangland like moniker that he goes by. My boyfriend, 33, doesn't have a driver's license, but I do. He passed his theory test a year ago and only recently bothered to apply for his actual license to start driving lessons. 4 months later, he hasn't had a single driving lesson. So I'm always the one driving back and forth to see him at weekends, driving him home when we go out and being the only driver when we go away. I've shared my frustration. I've joked about it. I've tried discussing it. And he always says he's working on it, but he isn't. It's been nearly 18 months and it's starting to make me resent him. I'm about to start a job where I'll be driving up to 4 hours a day, and I can already feel the rage building at the idea of ferrying him around on the weekends. I love him, but I'd rather be alone than sacrifice my mental, physical, and emotional health for someone that won't do something as simple as get a driver's license. What do you reckon with this one, Twayna?
I love it. It's been nearly 18 months and I'm starting to resent him. Oh, listen, come on, calm down. Yeah, just tell him no that you're not going to drop him off to places and then pick him up. Come on, it's as easy as that. And then maybe you just need to do a bit of tough love and make him see the error of his ways and just get on and do this. You're making it too easy for him to actually sort of change the situation he's in. Just turn around and go, "No, I'm not dropping you." Pick him up from his mum's, obviously. That sounds like where he's staying. And then just don't take him back. Say, "Look, you're staying here, you're living with me now. So why are you going back home?" It's like, just stay here. He'll soon realise that he needs to learn to drive if he wants to be able to leave your place.
Also, you can start implementing changes in your own life that can be very subtle hints as to what you expect of him. Make everything around driving. Suddenly you got a picture of Lewis Hamilton on your bedroom wall. Every time that you have any personal couple time together, stick Mario Kart on. Start doing a couple of laps of that. Do you know what I mean? For his birthday Christmas presents, just instantly buy him driving lessons and say that's the only thing. That's the only currency we're dealing with now. There are not going to be any football tickets or whatever. No, mate. You got driving lessons, that's it. And apart from that, as Twayna was rightfully said, you got to stop enabling him. Your behaviour is enabling by cleaning up. The problem is this person doesn't want to be the meanie in a relationship by going, "No, I know you're my boyfriend, but I'm not driving you anywhere anymore." But guess what? If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, that's your go-to. I know people like this, family, friends, well into their 30s, still can't drive. It's not like completely random. There are other people like it. If you live in a big city, you can get away with it. You know what I mean? You don't actually need to. But if you're living, and it sounds like this person is, she's doing 4-hour round trips and stuff like that. Anything outside of the big cities, you got to be driving. And I do get the frustration. It sounds like if this person's not actioning any plans to sort this out, then just not being a credible person. They're not serious. How can you start having a house with them, having kids with them, if they can't even attest to the most basic of plans to fix, basic requirements? So, yeah, make it very unsubtle that you expect this person to start driving, and even say, "I'm not driving you anymore," until you start, I start seeing real, genuine commitment to you doing it. And I think that will be a good G up to get him out and learning to drive. I think we sorted that one, haven't we, Twayna?
Yeah.
Here we go. On to the next one. Here we go.
I'm in a throuple with 2 guys and we sleep in a massive bed. We're very open about our progressive relationship, but my family can't accept our lifestyle. They laugh at us and make rude comments. They laugh at us and make rude comments.
We're nothing but a big joke.
Oh, right. We're nothing but a big joke as far as my parents and siblings are concerned. Yes, we all sleep in a massive bed together, but our relationship is not all about sex. It's also about love, companionship, and support too. How do I get them to respect our relationship, which is genuine?
I just love how laboured the point is that they all sleep in a massive bed. That's the selling point of this couple. We've got a monster bed, mate. Yeah. Just walk through the door and it's just a bed there. To the point where I'm getting an image of it being a clownish sized bed, that cartoonish, where everyone can just get on and just lounge around. And yes, it's not all about sex, but you're clearly having a bit of that as well, aren't you? Look, the reality of this is it's just because it's unusual. And so your family sound like they're a little bit more conservative, colouring between the lines. They find it a bit weird, obviously, because not everyone, it's not a usual state of play. But that shouldn't really knock your conviction. If you're happy in it, fuck what other people think, including people that love you. Ultimately, people lose track in life that the main thing that you should be aiming to do is making yourself happy. As long as you're not making other people unhappy doing what you do, fuck what other people think. Most of these people whinging, including even your family, are unhappy for different reasons. And a lot of the time, they secretly admire your courage to break the mold and do new stuff. But they won't tell you that because they don't want a massive bed. And they don't want some other guy called Clive in bed with them. You know what I mean? But you're connected to. But there's nothing wrong with it. And if you're happy, that's all that should really matter. And enjoy your massive bed, enjoy your throuple, and don't let your family ruin it.
I think it's fine that you're in a throuple. Just don't tell them about the bed. I think the bed's always going to get people laughing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, stop going on about the bed. You're like, this is a genuine relationship that's not all about sex. It's about love. So talk about the love. Talk about the companionship. Talk about the support. Don't talk about the bed. Leave the bed out of it. Like, people are going, so where do you all sleep? You're like, we all sleep in the same room. Leave it at that. Don't turn around and go, yeah, the bed's massive. You can barely get in the room because the bed's enormous. Do you know what I mean? Leave the bed out. Stop. When they want to talk about the bed, you're like, why are you talking about the bed? I'm just talking about how I feel really supported in this relationship. How there is love between us as a threesome, as three people. Don't talk about the fucking sleeping arrangements. I don't want to talk about your sleeping relationships in your double bed, in your smaller bed. I'm not interested in your bed. Just because you think it's conventional and traditional, that's on you. Yeah, I'm in a relationship with two people. We all live in the same property and we all sleep in the same bed comfortably. That's exactly my thing. Just leave the bed out of it.
No one cares if your bed's got different postcodes, okay? It's not. You shouldn't be throwing that out at party chats. I agree with you, Twayna. But yeah, focus on your happiness. Here comes the next one. The children are squabbling over who inherits our money when we die, and it really feels like the vultures are circling. My husband and I haven't yet made wills, and we are finding it impossible to know who to leave our home to or how to best divide up our money and possessions. I'm 70 and my husband is 75. We have two children, a daughter of 42 and a son aged 40. They both have children. We live in a mortgage-free house, which is worth about £500,000. Our son rents and is on benefits, but seems lazy, and he has always been a spendthrift. Our daughter already has lots of money and owns a big house. When we discussed it, both children said we should leave them the house because either the other one didn't need it or deserve it. Ideally, we'd also like to leave something to our grandchildren for their future. But what if we need care in the future or have to move into a retirement flat? I'm finding this so stressful and I'm so disappointed by the way my children are behaving. Maybe we should just leave the house to the local animal shelter and be done with it. What do you reckon, Twayna?
Well, I would say write a will. I think everybody should write a will.
Yeah.
I've written a will, and in it I've left all of my estate to my younger brother. That's 29p, 1 pence for every year I've hated him. No, but seriously, write a will. That's important. Maybe leave everything at the moment because you're still alive, obviously, and you are worrying about being older person and maybe having to incur bills for care and stuff. So maybe leave it to each other at this point, but also maybe like write in your will that if you're both to maybe leave, if you're going to leave it to your children, whatever they've done with their lives, whether they're really successful and have their own money and home, or whether they're less successful and are not good with money and renting, I think you just basically have to leave it to them equally, because when you're no longer there, that'll just cause a whole lifetime of problems. And then if they want to leave it whatever from that to their own children, that's up to them, or leave it equally for the grandchildren. You can't just go, well, she's good at this and she has this and he's not so good, because I don't think it's like it's their money. They can do what they want with it afterwards, but I think you should leave it to them equally.
I couldn't agree more with that, Twayna. And sorry, as I'm writing this, and I don't mind informing the audience what I'm doing as I go, I needed to just double check the meaning of the word spendthrift. Right, okay, cool.
Somebody spends their money.
Terrible with money.
Yeah,
exactly. I really agree with you in the sense that if you've got two kids, you can't be divvying it up based on anything else other than, two kids, love you equally, bang, down the middle, there you go. Obviously, if it's a house, you're probably going to need to sell it to be able to divide that up. Your daughter's got a nice house. She probably doesn't want to live upstairs above your spendthrift son who's not going out. But maybe you involve the animal shelter into it. Maybe you say it's a freeway split. Yeah, there's plenty of badgers in there that haven't done anything wrong to you. Anything wrong. A couple of dogs that could, really do with a nice little garden to run around in. So if you wanted to make a point, you could do something like that and involve them and say, screw you. I mean, the reality is when you say we'd like to leave some to our grandchildren, I presume that's what you would be doing if you left it to your son and daughter, unless you felt like they would be so bad with the money, particularly the son, that there'd be nothing left for the grandchildren at the end. But presuming his children live with them, then they're going to benefit from that, income anyway. So I would definitely say that. Divvy it up equally. You've got two kids, and but don't tell them. Do your will and leave it open, because you don't need people, coming around your house. Maybe they want to get hands on that cash, and all of a sudden your house is getting rigged up like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. You got fucking marbles at the top of the stairs to kind of speed the process along. You've taken a fall, and all of a sudden they're cashing it in. So say you've done a will, don't tell them what's happened, and then leave it till after you perish before they find out what the lie of the land is. That'll be my advice. There we go. Perfect. Right, let's move on. Next trouble.
My husband has moved to the spare room because he says he can't sleep in bed with me and our two small dogs who are at the end of the bed every night. It's laughable because he encouraged them to be in our room at night, as he hated having to get up and go downstairs to see them when they were puppies. So it's his fault. In my opinion, he's made his bed in another room, so he should lie in it. My friends keep saying separate beds isn't right, and that sleeping apart is the first step on a slippery slope to not having sex at all. Someone even suggested he might be using the dogs as an excuse to avoid me. Both of us are quite stubborn and unwilling to budge.
Oh, this is an interesting one, isn't it? I like the friend who's in there going, have you ever thought about whether he's using those dogs to get away from you? Have you checked whether you smell or not? It's an interesting one, this one. I want to ring the silent alarm for this person as well. If you I don't know, we haven't seen the person's ages there, but if you get involved in sleeping in separate beds at too young an age, I do think it is definitely a slippery slope, and it can be a very quick road to divorce and ruin. I think even when you're not, you've had a row with your partner or whatever, the fact that you always come back to the same place, share a bed, you brush your cold hands or cold feet over that person, they get even more fucked off, but it almost bonds you together. That's the kind of stuff that marriages are built on, right? But if you're not having that, and he's, just sneaking off to his little spare room, starts building up that room, then you start to get more and more comfortable being apart from each other, and you might find surrogacy in those dogs of yours, that are now on the bed, and before you know it, you're just used to not being around each other. So I think it's serious. Now, if this person was being lazy initially and has invited the canines onto the bed, and it's gone wrong, I don't necessarily think you should hold that mistake against him, because he's allowed to change his mind and say, yeah, and now it's weird, and now I'm getting fucked off with it. Can we keep him out the room? And it seems like you're not realizing the urgency of the situation. Mm. But in reality, if you're getting to a stage where you're not sharing beds together for a prolonged period, then that's far worse than your dogs having to find new sleeping arrangements. So I would say prioritize your husband in this situation.
My favourite bit is both of us are quite stubborn and unwilling to budge. You're like, oh dear. Get yourself a solicitor and file for divorce then, because that's where this is going. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what you're gonna have to budge. If you still would like to be married to this person for the foreseeable, then I think you're gonna have to turn around and go, look, I know that you suggested this, but anyway, we are not sleeping in the same room at the moment now because of this, and I think it's got out of hand. What's gonna happen? The dog, how old are the dogs? They might not be there forever. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what are you going to do? Replace them? Come on, get a grip on yourself. Get the dogs back downstairs. Get them in their little dog beds. Maybe outside the room, maybe inside the room, but just off the bed. And get your husband back in the bedroom, because I think that's where you would like him to be. Because otherwise, we won't be hearing from you. You've recognised that there's the problem, and that actually you would like your husband, but you just don't want to admit that maybe you're both being really ridiculous and stubborn in this.
Well, the thing is, Twayna, I don't think she does know that there's a problem. The only reason she's been jilted into this is because her friends have literally been like, that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, maybe he's avoiding you and stuff. And it's almost, what? It's not even crossed her mind. Yeah. And let's be real about this as well. He encouraged them to sleep in the bed when they were puppies. We don't even know what kind of dogs these are. It could be fucking Beethovens.
Yeah, but he says 2 small dogs. But what's
dogs?
But how small? Like Chihuahua small, or like, I don't know, a Labradoodle? They're what, compared to a Rottweiler, anything small.
Exactly.
Compared to a Great Dane.
Is a staff small? Is a staff small? You know, couple of staffs in bed with you. You know,
big, yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want that. And either way, I mean, you know, there's that whole thing, isn't there, about Christmas? You always blame your farts on the dog. Like, there could be all sorts of smells going on. He wants a little bit of relief when he goes to bed, and you're far too stubborn as a dog, might I add. And you need to get rid of that if you want to save the marriage. It's very important that you stick together and have that time alone bonding. So yeah, I would say swallow your pride. Go along with him, and you can train a dogs. You can train a dogs. You can train a dog. They're not told to learn new tricks because they're recently puppies. So there we go. All right, trouble solved. Let's go on to the next one. I got my revenge on someone who ghosted me by emailing his employer and telling him a few truths. Guys constantly let me down. I met this man through Grindr. He kept telling me how wonderful I was and that we should meet. I arranged to catch a train to visit him. The day before, he texted saying his grandmother had died. I was annoyed, but I understood. We tried again a month later, but he cancelled again, saying he had COVID. I'm a guy of 32 and he's 37. I live with mild autism, and I felt he was taking me for a mug. So I emailed the managing director where he works, told him his employee was nasty and unreliable. He just called me swearing down the phone at me, saying I'd caused him acute embarrassment. But he's really messed me around, and I want him to learn. What do we make of this?
Oh, my God. This is really not the way to behave. Taking a personal matter into somebody's workplace is really not the ticket. I mean, somebody standing you up on a few dates is really not the case of. There's a hell of a lot of horrendous things that can happen to somebody, and this is annoying. This is just a bit annoying, and I don't think it warrants calling somebody's boss and going, this person's really nasty and unreliable, because they might be a great employee. And so now they're thinking John's a bit of a psycho because he's got a psycho lover. It's like, what have you got from this? What have you gained? I don't think anything. You may be a moment of, retribution, but this is a bit, just delete his number, move on. Don't call him for dates. He's annoyed you twice, just keep it moving. You didn't have to do this. I've got no sympathy for this person, to be honest. I think they've behaved like an absolute fucking nut job.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And a little bit of sympathy for his 37-year-old date whose grandmother recently died. Then he got COVID, and now he's got massive employment issues as well because of some weird date that he never even went on. We don't know that stuff's untrue. This person's just basically said, he hit me with a couple of excuses, so I decided to fuck his life up a little bit. It's wild. Yeah, first he said his grandmother died. That's annoying. And then he told me he had COVID, so payback time. What? Sounds like he's not having a great time of things, but there you are. And he's calling you up swearing. Yeah, he's got every right to, mate. And why have you just thrown in I live with mild autism? Just in there as well as some kind of explainer. So, yeah, I'm a guy 32, 37. I live with mild autism. And I felt like he was taking me for a mug. What's that got to do with anything? It doesn't get you out of a jam when you're calling up. It's harassment. Essentially is what it is. You're harassing people who you've never even met. And listen, I've never been on Grindr. It's not my dating life. But I was under the assumption that a lot of this stuff was quite casual as well. It can lead to stuff, but it's quite a casual app. You can't be fucking people's jobs up based on Grindr hookups. Are you joking? Imagine it out on a Tinder or whatever, or Plenty of Fish. Someone literally, oh yeah, I liked you, and now I'm calling up your boss. You sound like a whack job. And this 37-year-old, if they didn't know before, now knows that they've absolutely dodged a bullet. Yeah. So, it's time to do some self-work. Get yourself out of that jam, because this is not the way to behave at all. Should we do the last trouble, Twayna?
Let's do it.
Here it comes.
My husband left and I don't know how to flirt anymore. I'm a single mum with 2 children and I've been on my own for a few years. I was devastated when he left and it was hard to move on because my ex was the love of my life. However, over the past couple of months, I've developed a huge crush on a guy I work with and I'm not sure what to do about it. He's all I think about. I know he's single and around my age, but he's given me no signs that he's remotely interested in me. I suppose this could mean I'm finally ready to consider another relationship. But what do I do about the crush? Should I just hope in time it will pass? I'm not sure it's a good idea to get involved with someone at work. I wouldn't even know where to start in terms of flirting and letting him know I'm interested. Please advise. Go on, Johnny.
Well, every now and then in this podcast, you do get some dating advice. I have famously said that if you're on a first date, make sure you get a kiss out of that date. Put people all on the same wavelength as to what you expect. So in terms of how to flirt, you've come to the right place. You got to really lay it all on the line there. I mean, first of all, I love the fact that you've basically said he's given me no signs that he's remotely interested in me. That's not even a little bit. That's like, yeah, I don't even know this guy even knows I exist, but I'm about to start coming out with some big flirting. Yeah.
Hello.
Exactly. It really comes down to the fact of where do you work to the level of flirting that you can get away with. If you work around vulnerable people, then some of the flirting might need to be scaled back a bit. If you work in a Weatherspoons, wear your Wonder Bra to work. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? A couple of buttons undone at the top, and then just be like, see anything you like to this guy? That guy, really up in his face. Let him know with neon signs, I'm here and open for business. But at some point, you're going to have a conversation and say, look, take it to a place that doesn't necessarily have to be like, you're all out for them, like, I love you. But again, put it on the line that maybe we should go out for a drink sometime or whatever. And it might come out of left field, but it's just the same as asking someone for a kiss on your first date. And the initial level of awkwardness is going to be far less than if you proceed without doing it and make the wrong choice and then it blows up in your face. That is going to be harder to pick up the pieces. So if you want to see where this one goes, you're going to have to bite the bullet and let him know. When people talk about flirting is not really the one. I really think it comes down to the fact that you're going to actually have to say something at some point. Otherwise, yeah. Oi, geezer. I like a bit of yeah. So put it out there and let him pick up the pieces. But apart from that, the other part of the question, I do think it means that you are ready to find someone else now. So even if it isn't this person, use it as training to make yourself more ready to not let the next one pass you by when it comes to it.
Like Johnny said, I'm not sure it's a good idea to get involved with somebody at work. Like Johnny said, where is it that you work? So, I mean, that's really important. You've not said. So if you work in a prison, no flirting at all. No, knock it on the head. If you are a prison officer and that person is incarcerated, keep it moving. Do not get involved. You cannot go on a first date with somebody who's currently incarcerated, and you probably don't want to go on a date with them when they're out. So just move on. Don't even use that as a training ground for flirting. So if you're working in where there's an obvious power dynamic, and people have liberty or don't have liberty, so just be really clear about where you work and the parameters of where it's all right. If they're a colleague, maybe you can invite them out for a drink. But yeah, it's just about just chatting at this point, isn't it? Just, is there a connection? Does this person know that you exist? Have you even tried saying hello to this person, or do you like them from afar? You know, conversation is key, and maybe flirting will come later. But yeah, there's a lot of work you need to do into the run up of maybe possibly going on a date with this person. Just, you know, a bit of eye contact and a hello might be a good start. But only if the situation allows.
Sometimes in moments like this, I'll always say that we have become dismissive of the knowledge we had as children as we get older. We think that adults know the most. In reality, that's a load of bollocks a lot of the time. And you might need to utilize children's tactics. Slip him a note saying, "Would you bang me? Yes or no," with a tick box, and then see what one he ticks. And if it's a yes, you're away. And if it's a no, then you know to move on, and you know to maybe never try that tactic again. But you gotta get back out there. Plenty more fish in the sea, and you got to get the trawler up and running again. Do you know what I mean? So romantic. Not everyone's fishing with a fishing rod. Somebody want a trawler out there. I'm just saying, like, got to get through all these fish somehow to find the best one. So that's what I would say. Get out there. I think we're both supportive of this lady throwing herself back into it anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we hope it works out. And that's it. Another episode down, Twayna. Do you feel like we've really healed the world with this, solved some problems and made the world a better place?
Johnny, I think we've done great work again, still. May I say something?
Yeah.
Can I? Please send us your troubles. We need your troubles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On our socials is the best place to find us, at iJohnny Cochrane and at Twayna Mayne. Send us a trouble. Remember, you can reserve your anonymity. We're respectful people. We're not going to bait you up too much. You know what I mean? You want to talk about that groin rash that won't go away. We're not going to be like, "Oh, that's Ben Smith. Get him. Look at it. He's at ears." No, we're not doing that, okay? We'll put it out there. We'll right your wrongs and we'll keep it moving. So that's the end of the episode. Join us next week. Episodes always drop Tuesday at 9 a.m. And all that's left for me to do is say, a trouble shared, it's a trouble halved. Bye-bye.